Hello, my dear friends. In this session, we are going to learn about percents. Percents, what does it mean? What is the shortcut way? And the fastest way. So let me just see. So we are going to learn about percents in a fastest way possible and the shortest way possible. So let's see. First of all, we need to know what percent means. Per means for each. For each. And cent means 100. It's a Latin root word, but it means 100. Cent. The word cent means 100. For each 100, or you also say that it is out of 100. That's out of 100. Percent actually means it's out of 100 for each 100. Okay, now let's see some examples. You have 20%. Now what does this 20% means? 20 is out of 100. 20 is considered out of 100. That's what the percentage means. 20 out of 100. Now if I have 75, if somebody got 75% marks, what does that mean? They got 75 out of 100. This is what it means. If you say 75% marks, that means it is 75 out of 100. Okay, now let's see what if you have 50 over 200. Now this is 50 marks out of 200 marks. So how much is the percentage? What percentage did he or she got? If it is 50 out of 200, we don't calculate percentage out of 200. We only calculate out of 100. So what do? We divide by 2. That means 50, half of 50 is 25. And half of 200 is 100. So that's just 25 per 100. That means 25 out of 100. That means it is 25% marks. If she got 50 marks out of 200 marks, that means her percent is 25%. Okay, let's see the direct multiplication method. This is called as direct multiplication method. Direct multiplication method, when you find out percentages, like for example, if you have 30% of 40, so what do? We just multiply directly. It is called as direct multiplication method. Just multiply 3 times 4 and you will get the answer. 3 times 4 is 12, and this is your answer. That means 30% of 40 is 12. And how is that possible? What is happening? That means 30% is 30 out of 100. Percent changes, the symbol changes to out of 100. Of changes to multiplication. This is 40. So what happens? These 2 zeros crosses out, or you can strike it out. So you're just left with 3 times 4, that's equal to 12. This is what is happening. So 30% of 40, whenever you have multiples of 10, like 30 and 40, and you're finding out percentages, you just multiply the numbers. 3 times 4, that's equal to 12. Now, for example, if you have something like this, 25% of 30. So if you get 25% of 30, what do you do? 25 times 3, and that's your answer, 75? No. 25 times 3, you're going to do 25 times 3. That will be 75, but you only have 1 0. So what do? For another 0, there should be 2 zeros. There should be 2 zeros. Whenever you want to strike off, you should have 2 zeros. So here you only have 1 0. For another 0, what do? You put a decimal in between, and that's your answer. You have a decimal on the right side, you move 1 slot towards left, and your answer is 7.5. So 25% of 30 is 7.5. Okay, let's see another example. For example, if you have 20% of 42, so what are you going to do? 20% of 42, multiply 2 times 42. 2 times 42 is 84, and for another 0 you put a decimal in between, and that's your answer, 8.4. Okay, let's see another example. For example, if you have 65% of 85, 65% of 85, for these kind of problems, what do? Is we use splitting method. Splitting, we call it as splitting method. So let's see, what do we have in splitting method? Suppose you have 65% of 90. If you're solving 65% of 90, you split it. It's called a splitting method. So we split this. 65 is not possible for us to solve it directly. So what do is we split it in easier terms, like 60 plus 5. 65 can be written as 60 plus 5 of 90%. So that's 90. 60 plus 5% of 90. So this is percent. 60 plus 5. So 60% of 90 is, just multiply 6 and 9. That's 54. So you got 60% of 90. That's 54. Plus, you have a plus sign in between. What is 5% of 90? So what is 10% of 90? That's 45. 4.5. So basically 5% of 90 is 4.5. 10% of 90 is 9. Half of 9 is 4.5. That's 5%. So you'll add 54 plus 4.5 and you're going to get 58.5 as the answer. So whenever you have 5% or 4%, so find out 10% or 1% and then multiply that. 10% of 90 is 9 and half of 9 is 4.5. 5 is half of 10. Okay, let's see another example. For example, also there's one more way to solve this. What is another way to find out 65% of 90? You can even split this. You can do 100 minus 10. All right. So what is 65% of 100? It's just 65. And you have a subtraction sign, so you'll have to write subtraction. What is 10%? 10% of 65? That's just 6.5. This is more simpler, I think. 100% of 65 and 10% of 65. So 65 minus 6.5 will give you 58.5. You can use your calculator to check the answers. And how easy this is. You don't have to work out for any numbers, nothing. Just do it mentally in your head. Okay, let's see another example. If you have 51% of 40. So 51%, you can split 51 as 50 plus 1. 50 plus 1 of 40. Let's see now. What is 50% of 40? 5 times 4, that's 20. So I'm going to write that 20. And you have 1% of 40. So that's just 0.4. You have the decimal, you move 2 slots towards left. For 1%, you just get 0.4. So your answer is 20.4. Done. Okay, let's see if you have a question like 59% of 45. How would you solve it so quickly in a fastest way? So what do? You just split that. 60 minus 1 of 45. All right, now it's easier for us to calculate. For 60%, you'll say, oh, we don't know how to find out 60% of 45. So just find out 10% of 45. What is 10% of 45? Okay, basically you can easily find out 50% of 45. Why not to find out 50% of 45? Half of 45 is how much? 22.5. Is that right? Yes, that's 50%. This is 50%. All right. So now you need to add more 10%. Now what is 10% of 45? It's just 4.5. How to find 10%? Just put a decimal, move one slot towards left. It's 4.5. So this is total 60%. Is that right? 22.5 plus 4.5 will give you how much? 27. Yes. Now you need to find 1% of 45. 1% of 45 will be move the decimal 2 slots towards left. So 27.0 plus 0.45. So 27, sorry, not plus because it's a subtraction. You should have a subtraction sign. Minus. Okay, let me write it down. 27.0 minus 0.45. So when you subtract 0.45 from 27, you're going to get 26.55. That's it. That's your answer. How easy. We are not using any calculators, nothing. We are just doing everything mentally in our head. Okay, let's see another example on this. For example, if you have 27% of 64. 27% of 64. Now what can you do? You can split it in this way. 20% plus 5% plus 1. But you will say, no, we don't know how to find out 20%. So just find out 10%. What is 10% of 64? That's 6.4. So again add one more 10%. So 10%, 6.4. What is 5%? It is half of 10%. Half of 10% is 3.2. Okay. So now what is 1%? 1%. So you just move the decimal 2 slots towards left. So it's 0.64. Oh, we got 20 plus 5 plus 1. Just add them all together and you're going to get 17.28, and that's your answer. 17.28. 27% of 64 is 17.28. Okay, let's see one last example of this session. So if at all you like, please do leave a comment in the comment box and don't forget to share it with your friends. Let's see if you can calculate 56% of 450. How quick you can be. So 56 we can break down into, you can split it easily. 50 plus 5 plus 1. So what is 50% of 450? That is half of 450. That's 225. Yes. And what is 5% of 450? So for that you need to find out 10%. 10% of 45 is 45. Half of 45 is 22.5. So just add 22.5. Plus 1% is move the decimal 2 slots towards left. So you're left with 4.5. So that's your 4.5. 50%, 5%, and 1%. Add them all together and you're going to get 252.0. That's it. That's your answer. So hope you like this session. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Take care.